Hello, this is my Kayo guide on Breeze. This one has been like a long time coming. I should have done this one earlier. But we're going to start off with A on attack, and I'm going to line up with like this sort of line here. Don't have to be that precise with it. And I'm going to put the left, like this stain. I'm going to put my like left part of like the circle on my knife icon onto the top left of it like this. And it should land in water, which means that it's going to land like here. It means that people can't really shoot it because they can't like see this like little line, which is like always possible. It's not the greatest of knives, but it's like a knife that you can use, like to mix up like your normal sight knives that you would do. So you would do like maybe one like this, get some close angles, or you do one in the middle of sight, something like that, right? Those are like the two probably main ones you do. And that can just be like a mix-up one that you do sometimes. Mainly if you're not maybe play a bit slow, that'd be a good one to do. Otherwise, we have flashes. So look at flashes. You can stand anywhere on the stairs, and you can throw just above the light over this box. It'll flash just about like going out basically. It'll just about go out the doorway and flash anyone. So it's pretty good. Then when it comes to like getting on site, there's a couple of flashes. Actually, I'll show those flashes later. But there's like one flash. Like not one flash, but there's like a couple flashes you can do like out the wall basically for teammates, like this, right? You can also flash back side like this. It doesn't flash me. It might flash people wide though, so you need to be careful with the flashes. When it comes to mollies, generally you won't save them that much for post plant, so I don't actually have a post plant molly for A. But on KO, on like for his mollies, I'm gonna basically use them to clear space. So using it to get rid of this corner is good. And sometimes I get like, sometimes I throw it like this as well. Go stairs. You just basically aim like at one of these things basically on the roof while running, and it should go near stairs. It doesn't always hit where you want it to. Like this one's not that bad, but it doesn't stop this from happening, right? So you want to kind of get it in like the center sort of area of stairs if possible. But you know, I just send a free throw that, so I don't always get the best one. And then when it comes to like if you lose your Viper early on and you don't have a wall, right? There are two flashes that you can do that are pretty good. You can actually do this one without the wall, with the wall as well, to like pop flash through for a teammate. But basically what you want to do is you want to just run and hit it off this, hit off the pyramid. As you can see, it bounces back up and flashes people. It doesn't flash me. So it's actually pretty good for like taking space without the Viper wall, if you need to do it. It also can be used to just like bounce it through the Viper wall as well, if you want to as well. Stuff like that can definitely work. The other one is a bit more technical, and it requires a bit more things to line up. So you have to make sure you're not getting pressured from this area. And yeah, you can also technically use this for teammates too. And what you want to do is you want to just aim at like this like rust style part here, just in the middle of it. I just want to run to your full momentum and then flash, and it will actually just go just past the pyramid and won't blind you coming out. So you can do those flashes. Those flashes are pretty good. When it comes to post plant, generally I'm probably going to be in a slightly more aggressive position than my teammates will. My Sov and my Viper, they're going to be playing for like post plant. They're going to have abilities that are really strong in post. And I would have used my molly like clearing things, and I might have no flashes left, or I'll have one. So I make a play like for myself, or I'll do something random in like from bricks, or sometimes I'll be main with them. Kind of depends on the situation. It's all contextual. Sometimes I'll have molly back. Sometimes I'll have molly. So I'll molly. Like default when we need to. Oh my god, it's harder to molly default than I thought it was. There you go. And that's kind of it for A. On mid, we go for mid. When we take mid, I don't really have that much for mid. The new mid isn't really that favourable for KO. Like you used to be able to just like basically send the flash. Actually, I thought I messed that up. Sorry. Basically, you used to just send the flash like this over the box, and with like a silver dart, and that should be like basically decent amount to take mid. But the new mid is a bit harder, so you can still do this flash. This flash is still good. Basically, all you have to do is just be like kind of near the base of this ramp, aim above this, above the roof of this house. Actually, I think it's on the roof. Sorry, on the roof on this house, like this. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you do that, and it just flashes mid. It's pretty good. To do that with the new one, you can also do you can also do a knife like this too. Obviously not one knife jumping, but you can do it like this, like jump like this. There you go. Pretty good for detecting people like kind of like in the top of mid. People in the tunnel might shoot that instantly, but it might also stop them from going elbow because they have to shoot the knife, and so they'd be like concerned about making all that sound and won't push elbow. Then there's also a flash you can do for people to push mid. So sometimes you'll have someone that can like push mid up this area, like a neon or something, or just in general, that was like the core you've gone for. So a nice flash for them is to go into this corner and just aim at the top of this bar and left click. Like the easiest flash ever. And what it does is it just detonates a bit here. And it's going to flash tunnel. It's going to flash people elbow if you need that, if you don't have any elbow control. Flash people out here. Mainly it's going to flash the people mid and the people in tunnel is what you're really aiming for this flash. Aiming for with this flash. And the important part with it is that it doesn't flash your teammate. So you can throw this any time as long as like perfect timing for them to get a kill with the flash. And it won't affect them at all. That's really good. And that's pretty much it for mid. Like when you go through here, you can do flashes. Generally, you just want the flash. Oh, sorry. Generally, you just want the flash to like, if you want to flash somewhere, you probably flash just over the railing. Not like that. Not so it hits the pyramid. You want to flash just over the railing, then you don't get blinded, and then people's sight will get blinded. You can like, I generally free throw this one, so sometimes I do miss it and go particularly well, but you can do it like that. There's also a molly. Actually, I forgot to show you one of the molly as well from my main. Let me just show you that. The molly is basically what you want to do is you want to make sure you're looking at like this sort of like bent piece of metal. There's like a little bend here, and you just want to make sure that's like just a bit visible to you, like it's like connected to like the doorway, if that makes sense. And then you just want to run and shoot and throw. Generally, you want to be full momentum when you throw it because then it will reach like yellow properly, and then it will stop people from sitting there. Yeah, to really show you that. And I've already shown a flash if you're going B. If you do go up mid, generally I don't go up here, honestly, on Kayo, unless I'm through elbow with the team, maybe. Maybe I'll molly this. And then I don't really have any flashes. I might just send a flash over instead with this, which is very something similar to do. There's something I'll do on B sometimes as well. Yeah, you can just send flashes over very easy on Kayo, like this. And then on B attack, I'll show a knife. But basically, the knife is really easy. The knife I basically always do is on the edge of this box on the new breeze. Send it to there, and it just detects all the back sight. The only time they ever dodge it is if they're close in this, like close over here. That's the only time they ever dodge this knife. And I guess technically they can dodge it by being over here somewhere, but so unlikely that they're just sitting there as an anchor. So generally, this is a really good knife to use. If you do know exactly where they are, like if you have a good indication, don't be afraid to like mess around with like where you put the knife. Then you can put it like here instead if you know that they always play close. So you guarantee to get them, or like you clear that space and you know that they're doing something else, or you can do it at the back over here to like do the same thing basically, just a different read. For flashes, we want to just go in like next to this corner like this and just aim basically to the right like of this line here, so we get through, just so we get through the gap. And the important part about this flash is, once again, it doesn't flash teammates. There you go. It flashes like here basically, so it won't quite get like people like super close like this, but it will get players sort of playing this sort of corridor. Will get players playing that corner. Pretty good for someone pushing in because they won't even see it. The flash sort of detonates here, so they won't see it at all, and they can get kills. You can also time it really well with the way they go out, so you don't have to like throw it early so they don't get blinded in a bad time or whatever. You can just throw it. It's pretty good. Then we go for mollies, I think. Yeah, so mollies is going to be basically I'm just going to run and throw this off the back wall. Is usually how it goes, like this, and it just stops players. Usually I get it a bit better than this. It goes a bit there. Just stops players from doing this, or like if they're back sight and they're stuck, then they can't run back and save themselves. They have to find my team. And that's usually how it goes with the molly. I don't really do any of the molly. And there is actually technically there's a lineup as well. You can do, that's a better version of it. Technically, there is a lineup you can do from exactly the same spot as everyone else's lineups. All you want to do is, I think it's, it's aiming at, I think it's the 1, 2. It's like the second twist, I'm pretty sure. Just to the right of it, and then you jump throw. I'm pretty sure this is right. I could be wrong. I haven't done it in a very long time. Okay, it's a bit off, I think. But if you plant here, it will work. But if you plant anywhere else, like here, it won't work. So you may have to go a bit, like another twist down, like a third twist down if you go there. So you go like this. Actually, maybe it's like middle of this or something then. If you want to do it for default, like proper default, like this. Yeah, there you go. So it is, actually, that's just better in general. So yeah, like the middle of like the third twist, I think. So I won't throw it again, but this basically. Where you want to go, where you want to aim. Yeah, and that's kind of it for attack, I think. So I haven't gone over the ult. I'll just quickly, briefly touch on the ult. With the ult, you just want to be using it to go into places. Mainly, you want to be abusing someone that relies heavily on utility. That relies, like, if they rely on utility to hold the site, to anchor, like a Sentinel, like Killjoy or Cypher, then that's who you want to go for. The disadvantage with Killjoy is that she can still activate her swarms, and Viper can start to fight his cage. So it's really, really strong when maybe the agents can't do that. So on this map in particular, you're going to be against a Viper. And Silence is really strong versus Viper because she really benefits from when she keeps putting like wall up and down. You can have like a decent uptime on her stuff with the fuel. So Silence again really, really like eliminates her ability to defend like over long periods of time. But in short periods of time as well, she really needs that decay to like hold the site. So Silencer is going to be really nice. So generally when you have ult, B is the prime target. But A isn't too bad either, depending on reads and things like that. Or like whatever agents they have on their team, right? It's pretty good versus Chamber. So if they play a Chamber A with Op and they're playing like weak side, then you can go abuse him as well. He hates being silenced because he can't take his free fight anymore. Same with Jet, I guess, but Chamber's definitely more susceptible to the silence than Jet is, as his trap also needs to not be silenced, ideally. So that's attack. I'll see you on defense. Okay, so on attack, I'm going to start on B because B isn't, like, I don't really play too much B. I do have some things about it, but I don't play a huge amount. Usually I'm retaking, and I don't really have that much on retake either. I do have some tricks that I do on retake, but not too much, nothing too fancy. So on B, if you want to like store for longer, molly from anywhere, basically, is good into the main. I am honestly just stuck apparently. Towards the top of the archway, looks like it's good, yeah, okay. And then with the knife, there's like a trick basically you can do. So with this knife, is pretty good for general info. As you can see, it gets like some of elbow. And there's also this side. So on this side, it will get a lot more tutored information, right? So it will only get main and it won't get elbow. So if you need to know if people are main specifically, then you can do it on this side. If you need a bit more general info, then you do this side. If you need to know if the enemy team, like which side they're going to, but say if you know which side they're going to, but you don't know if they're like, maybe they're rotating away from B, or like you think they are, then you can do this to check for B main, and if honestly there's still presence in B main, then you can like have that answer basically. Because this would just give you much more of a general answer if they're rotating or not, because they could be rotating through elbow and go mid or whatever. That's like a hypothetical, I guess. For flashes, there's not really like any like particular flashes you can do. You can do like ones up here and high, so then that doesn't actually flash you and it flashes them. They're looking at you. And you get like a small flash maybe. But that sort of stuff can work. You can also do flashes like behind the pillar when you run this way. And that also works too. But yeah, that's basically it. So for retakes, so say if I'm retaking from A, generally for mollies, if you're in the archway over here, you want to aim anywhere like above or on top of this pipe, and then run forward. And what will happen is you'll guarantee basically hitting the back wall every time, and hitting like the back of like this like back corridor. That's really important to hit. And you can get them on top of the box as well if you aim a bit higher. Very, very nice to have. Very nice to have like this sort of info, like this sort of knowledge to consistently molly back the back hall area of B, or backside area of B. You can also bounce it off this wall as well to get like this, so you don't have to worry too much about the angle. There is actually a small angle there, but if you go this way, you don't actually have to worry about it too much. There is technically a lineup for that as well, so you just aim at this corner and then you go down to the fourth brick like this against the wall. So you just aim at the base of the fourth brick like this, and it should land there, like in this sort of corner area. It's not really that useful. You don't really need to use it that much, but yeah, it's nice to have if you need it. Sometimes it can force players that go like a wide angle to actually run forward instead of backwards, and it can force them into like a bad situation against you. So sometimes it's good. It's usually not that good. It's usually pretty situational. For knives, you just want to put them in against the front wall like this usually. Generally, like this is like the really good place. So in this corner here, generally people don't shoot it very well. You can also do it over here as well if you want to get right side. Once again, if you want to get all of it, you just aim at this square. You get most of backside, so you can tell if someone's sights not instantly off this square on the box. If you wanted, obviously you can use the main knives as well. That's kind of it for retake. Obviously you can ult if you feel the need to, if there's a good reason why. For mid, I don't really play too much mid as Kayo. When I do play mid, it's usually because other people are doing something else somewhere on the map. Same with B really. Usually I'm always prioritizing going A. You can do knives like this, and there's also a knife up here, so you just aim at this like ivy, like you would on the server dart. You would go a bit higher than the server dart. and then it goes on that wall. It can be quite annoying against chambers. If chambers like to peek that early and they have no support, then you can throw this early and it silences him, and unless he shoots it. But he can't really shoot it because he wants to peek this, and if your teammate's peeking at the same time, he might not be able to TP away, or he might have to turn and shoot it and then dies with your teammate. So there's plenty of there's plenty of reasons to throw that knife. It's pretty decent. Problem is like once you have thrown that knife, you kind of have to rotate because there's not really a good place to like play. There's not like a good reason to play up here on Kayo, I think. Generally you want to be playing like the strong side, and usually that isn't B and usually that isn't mid on Breeze, but you can still play these areas if you really need to. You can throw one elbow like this, and there's also actually no, sorry, the B one is actually on A. So I'll talk about A now. A is like the last place. First of all, there is a knife you can do through here that will actually get main. So if you are concerned about people like waiting for knives, you can do one really deep like this. If they start to wait for your knife, then you can catch them off guard with this one. There's also an elbow knife as well. So you aim here. You basically just go into this corner, aim here, and it will land. It will just go over the top and land on elbow. This pretty decent knife. It's not great because it lands so high up, so you won't get great. You won't get great like radius on the knife, but like it's not too bad. Not too bad to use. And when it comes to like mollies and things, actually sorry, when it comes to knives on actual sight, just off this wall is usually the best place to send it. If they're actually coming out of sight, then sometimes they might shoot that one quite easily. So you can do one like against like the pyramid like this, or you can do one in this corner if you're concerned about them shooting it too early. This is basically if they're going out onto sight, you wouldn't do these to get info. Usually the info one would be on this wall, it would be on this wall. Usually on this right wall is the best place to put it. When it comes to mollies as well, you can molly pretty consistently, like where you want to molly, apart from I don't. You can kind of consistently molly where you want to molly, like bricks. There is also a molly you can do off the back wall over here. You just go quite high. There you go. Lands nicely there for the plant. It's pretty easy to free throw these with like a tiny bit of practice, so I don't actually have any lineups for them. I usually just free throw. I probably should technically have lineups for them, especially because I usually have lineups for a lot of other things. But yeah, you can just free throw them. So one free throw is off this like sort of middle panel. The other one is off this like blue line panel, or like I think it's a lift. And you just want to put it on the left side of it, so then it bounces in this trajectory and lands a bit there. Those are pretty good mollies. And when it comes to flashes, I don't really have too many flashes. Usually I'm just going to flash through a teammate out the wall. If they actually are coming onto site, I'll flash through the wall from a teammate. Usually a left click if I can try and get one with this or something, through a wall. So my teammate will get a nice full flash on the enemy team and have a lot of time to kill them. If you want to have like a bit more aggression in A main, what you can do is you can go against this line, like line up with this line, and then all you want to do is just basically send it anywhere above the light. Pretty sure, yeah. And it will. I don't actually have to turn it. Sorry. You can just. It goes behind the box. Pretty decent. I don't think there's a better way to throw it. There might be some better ways to throw it, but this is like the best one I've found. There probably is some better ways. You just want to like, aim above the light, and what it will do is it just means that these people, sorry, the old like teammates won't get flashed, and they can punish anyone. Sort of in here. It isn't the greatest to go aggressive in here because as you can see, like there is like pretty decent way for them to just like go into this corner or go into this corner, and it's really hard for this person to then fight because they might be fighting people from very far away that maybe aren't flash anymore. So, or like maybe someone that's just come from mid or something, or like has like dodged the flash in mid or whatever, or like back lobby doing something else, like throwing a lineup or something, and wasn't looking to flash, then they get traded, or like they get killed before they can get anything useful done. That can definitely happen. And that's kind of it for, I think, defense, actually. Actually, no, sorry. I'll talk about retake, and then that's kind of it. So, on retake, I very rarely retake A because I'm usually playing A. But generally, knives on site are quite useful against these pyramids. Can be quite useful. Mainly this one. Then you actually get, like, who's on site, whatever. And then you can use molly to get rid of, once again, the bricks. The bricks molly is quite good. Gets rid of the chances they can be there. Obviously, I should probably get an actual lineup for this one because it is very easy for them to dodge it. So I do need a lineup for that one. That's definitely on the list. You'll probably see a short about it very soon, most likely. And then, yeah, honestly, it's very similar to how you would hold all the util you would use. Like this molly as well, like these mollies to like push people out of areas once you've got like a tag with your knife. That can be really, really useful. And once again, you would use your ult as you see fit. If you need to ult, then you should. Things like, for instance, if they have a Viper wall and the Viper's still alive, that's a really good time to ult. because it means that she's obviously, bear in mind you need to have like maybe the numbers and it needs to be a winnable round. You don't want to just waste your ult. And if the Viper's still alive, it's really good to ult because it might even get to a point where you're like quite close to her, like over here. And if you can get close enough to her, then she can not do her lineups from this position. So maybe a bit rushed, but I am trying to speed these things up. I think they can be a bit long if I don't speed them up. So I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in my next one.